So I'm back to host another episode of Ingrid's World. I am Ingrid Paris-Hicklin, your host, and I have the opportunity to introduce you to two guests that are following their passion. Meet Lillian Antoinette Cotton, a professional artist who is taking the art world by storm. She is an entrepreneur and owner of Cotton Studio. She's a graduate of the University of the Arts and has a master's degree from Liberty University. She even has time to volunteer. Then you'll meet Rob Paine, marketing and outreach specialist with RSVP Northern Virginia, who before joining RSVP has a 30-year career in photography and journalism. He even has worked as chief photographer for the Connection newspaper as well as nationally as a photo editor for Associated Press. He says seniors and retirees make such a great difference in our community, tackling some of the greatest challenges that the community faces. So stay right there and meet two gifted people who are following their passion. Well, welcome to the show, Lillian Cotton.
Pleasure's all mine.
Oh, well, I was so excited that you agreed to be on the show. An artist, and actually what I like to say, definitely a professional artist. I do artwork, but it's hobby. You're the professional. Tell us about how you got started in your career.
I've been drawing since I was young as a child, and my family members, they draw. My aunt Margie, she draws. My mother, she was drawing, and I was like, oh, I want to be better than them, and so I kept drawing, and I love it because it's kind of like a voice. And so once I realized that, that's what I really started taking art more seriously.
So it was like a voice. So the schools you went to, I think you had mentioned that you even went to the governor's school too.
I did. South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities for my junior and senior year. Went to the University of the Arts. For middle school, I went to Norland, I think it's called Norland Middle School of the Arts. And I got my master's at Liberty University.
Wow, well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You're definitely no joke. So when the wonderful paintings that we're showing now that you have, tell us a little bit about some of the paintings that we're looking at.
Okay, there's one, it has flowers around it. It's called Eve. That's actually a started series. I started that years ago, exploring women in the Bible and different, their role, and because a lot of times, we were kind of like put in the background, especially like from a biblical standpoint and researching them. Another piece, it has the gray and white face. That was a self-portrait. But it wasn't me, but it was kind of like speaking for the women. It was called A Survivor's Reflection, and kind of looking at women who go through domestic violence and pain and things like that, reflecting on different things that I've researched of what they went through, and knowing friends that went through that. So, and the other paintings are like paintings of flowers. They're studies of flowers to get into, and the flower thing comes from the Garden of Eden. That was like the paradise thing in the Bible.
Yes.
And so that's one of the things that's really kind of themed in my work.
Oh my goodness.
So flowers, yeah.
It's beautiful. What medium are you using?
I use mixed medium, charcoal, spray paint, oil painting, collage, acrylic paint, anything that I feel like I like cutting. I like using watercolor paper. So.
Oh my goodness. Because when I was looking at them, I'm like, my goodness, it looks like you're using lots of different, it's just not acrylic or just oil. It's a lot of different things that you. What inspires you?
What inspires me? What inspires me as an artist, one person in particular, James Dupre, he's one of my mentors, fantastic artist. He really showed me that you can make a living, and you don't have to, be dead and to make your artwork. Another person is my mother. She's very hardworking, one of the hardworking women I know. and just other artists. That's another thing that inspires me, and just seeing a lot of that.
Wow.
So.
And so when you're putting together now, I was fascinated to hear. Tell us about your company, how you have set it up.
Oh, Cotton Studios. It's a art company, but right now we the main thing is caricatures. So we go out to different festivals, like seafood festivals, jazz, whatever type of festivals, or barbecue festivals, and we do caricatures. They only take 5 minutes.
Really?
It's very quick.
Wow.
Yeah, bigger ones with like over 100,000 people, I bring other artists out to work. I think our funnest one was in the Everglades. It was a seafood festival in Miami, so that was great.
Oh my goodness gracious. And was it 5 minutes?
It only takes 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fast. And we're just joking, having a good time. And then when they see it, they get a good laugh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But they're pretty entertaining. You're really very good. So do they also realize that you're actually another a professional artist too? No. I mean, if it comes in conversation, not necessarily. That's kind of like a separate, because that's more like gallery oriented. Or I would do that at like fine art shows. I kind of don't put them together. Fine art show.
Right.
Oh, you don't put them together?
No,
that makes
not
sense.
really, right.
That makes sense. That does. They're pretty entertaining though.
Yeah, they are.
Because I watch them. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I think we're showing the one of is that a baby or something?
Yeah, it's a baby. It is a little baby just smiling with his little gums and his little two front teeth.
That was so cute.
Yeah, they can be really cute and really funny. I don't do nothing like grotesque or mean, but it's just to have fun.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing that you don't
Right.
do anything that's mean. Yeah, your
Right.
spirit shows very positive and happy. So someone who's watching this who is a budding artist, what do you say? They want to have a career such as yours. What has been the key to your success?
I would tell them to keep going and keep drawing. Try to take as many opportunities as possible. If there's any schools, any programs, go ahead and do that. As far as like college, look into that. And also other artists, start learning under them to start teaching you different techniques and going to as many gallery shows and trying to just talk to as many artists, because there's a lot of artists that's not, a lot of artists are doing a lot of great things, but you got to find the one that'll take time with you. And so, especially studying, taking private lessons, that really helps.
Taking private lessons.
Right, definitely taking private lessons. And I did that with Dupre. So it really, really helped my art and technique. So
what's the hardest part of being an artist and actually being an entrepreneur? Because you're in business by yourself.
Rejection until you get over it. Like, everybody's not going to like your work, but you got to keep going. And that doesn't mean you're a bad artist. It's just you're kind of maybe at the wrong time. And it's not your time or your season yet. So just keep going, keep drawing, stay positive.
Stay positive.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Do you draw every day?
Well, with my caricature business, yes. I do draw. I draw a lot. I try to draw a little bit in my sketchbook every day, even if it's only like 30 minutes or so, maybe 25 minutes, just to keep going.
Wow. How inspiring. And one last question. What made you want to be, it's one thing to be an artist, but what made you say, hey, I'm going to open up my own business?
Well, I like to be in charge, and I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, because I know how I want it to be ran. I know what I want to do. I don't want no one to stifle me, or tell me what I can't do or I can't produce, or because a lot of times with our caricature business, they have certain styles, and mine is pretty open. So
wow. Well, I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Lillian Antoinette Cotton.
Thank you.
Everyone should remember that. See you on Instagram. You
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
well, your stuff is great. Thank
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you for being on Ingrid's World. Coming up next, we're going to be speaking with Rob Paine. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do him like that, Uncle Drew.
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys.
Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts.
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So,
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Well, welcome to the show, Rob Paine.
Thank you, Ingrid.
So much.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So we talked a little bit about the introduction about you and what brought you here to was it RSVP?
RSVP Northern Virginia.
So tell us first about RSVP Northern Virginia.
Well, RSVP Northern Virginia is a fantastic program. It's a volunteer program for seniors 55, what we like to say 55 or better. And they do just a number of different things, actually 200 different volunteer opportunities with 30 of the best nonprofits in Northern Virginia. There are actually 3,000 just in Fairfax County. We've picked out the best 30 or so in the whole Northern Virginia area, and it's just a wonderful organization.
3,000 in Northern...
Just in Fairfax County, there are 3,000 nonprofits. Mm-hmm.
Oh my word! Yeah. And you picked the best.
We picked the best, and we work with the best, and it's really a great program.
You know, I was fascinated when I started, looking at it and what you're doing. So you really have to start there. What's the process of becoming a member of RSVP?
Well, every month we have 2 orientations. We try to space them out around the area. The municipalities that we serve are everywhere in Fairfax County, the city of Alexandria, and the county of Arlington. So we try to space out those events, and it's an hour orientation. It's free. Our volunteer specialists will tell you exactly, what we do, our procedures. And then after that, the volunteer specialist will call you and have a personal interview where they'll interview you and talk about your interest, what your skills are, what you want to do. Because this program is all about what you want, not what we want. And then after that, she works her little magic and calls you back up a few days later and says, we think we have a good match for you.
So, okay, so you match them, and it's based upon what maybe I want to do?
What you want to do.
Oh, I love that.
Not the other way around. We're really there for the folks who volunteer, because one of our most basic tenets is volunteering has to be fun. And when it's not fun, then it's time to do something else. And we have plenty of options for that, so if you get into a situation, which rarely happens, we can quickly place you somewhere else if that's not your bag or that's not exactly what you want to do.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So we're showing a picture of someone working. It looks like they're at a desk and a computer screen.
That would be the Northern Virginia Senior Olympics. That's Janet Garber. And she has worked at the Olympics for several years. She was actually a chairman of the Olympic board. Wow. Her background is heavy mathematics. She did a lot of work for the Department of Defense. And she keeps score at two of the biggest events there are, the track and field and the swimming.
Oh, that's major.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. I can't imagine that. So the process to join, you're talking about that. You also have a lot of community partners?
We do. We work with some fantastic folks. Some of them are county agencies, which I'm sure you're familiar with, like Volunteer Solutions. And then others are just non-governmental but nonprofits. Insight Memory Care, the Northern Virginia Senior Olympics.
Yes, I am familiar.
Northern Virginia Literacy Council, Capital Caring. They're really outstanding groups, and we have very close relationships with all the volunteer coordinators and the directors. New Hope Housing down on Route 1. United Community Ministries of Alexandria. They're just an outstanding group of people, and you really get exposed to a lot of the challenges and some of the great things going on in the county and some of the things that need help. And all these organizations are volunteer driven. Without volunteers, they can't do as much of the great things that they do.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. So let's circle back to, how did you come to volunteer, to RSVP?
Well, I had went through a little bit of a employment spurt. I mean, or low, underemployed, and I wanted to be involved. I had been in different organizations, but I wanted to be involved with volunteers that were similar age of that I was. And I was actually I first came to RSVP when I was 54. They told me, sorry, come back next year because you really do have to be 55. So I came back the next year, they interviewed me, and they said, what about the Northern Virginia Senior Olympics? You'd be a great PR and marketing person for them based on my background in newspapers. And I said, well, okay, I'll give it a shot. And a year later, I'm in my second year. I've been doing it 2 years now. I do all their advertising and marketing.
Wow.
And it's just and that, a few months after I started that, the program manager or the volunteer specialist called me up one day and said, we'd like to have you come in and tell us a little bit about some of your marketing ideas for RSVP. And that day they slid a piece of paper across the table and said, how would you like to work here? And that's how that happened. So, I can't guarantee that every time someone volunteers they're going to get a job, but I think for those people out there that are struggling with employment challenges, and when you're in your 50s, that can, that's a tough time. I would really encourage you to go out, help other people in the process. You never know. You might find out a skill that you weren't really even marketing yourself as, and the next thing you know, you have a job. And I've had a really great time. I really enjoy it.
Oh my word! What a wonderful story.
Yeah, I really owe the world to the volunteer specialist that saw that, Nadia Hoonan. She was just fantastic. And that's the great thing about our program is we see things in people sometimes that even they don't see.
Even they don't see.
And I'm living proof of that.
So now, of all the different things that volunteers do, what are some of the what's something that's really just pretty interesting?
Well, one of the things that's just starting up in the next couple of weeks, we've got a lot of volunteers out at Wolf Trap. The national park, Wolf Trap National Park, pretty much all of their ushers, their ticket takers are all volunteers. So I think the season is just starting up this week. This time of this week.
Well, we get it.
This week get it. And so we've got folks out there, I think they're around 700 volunteers. Not all of them are RSVP.
Wow.
But they have training sessions. They get to stay for the concerts, once everything is over. And even the folks who do the ticket takers are able to enjoy the concerts. And it's really a lot of fun, and you get to meet a lot of great people. The Olympics, again, is a wonderful thing. And then, there are a lot of rewarding things. I mean, they're all rewarding, but again, going back to Insights, insights,
Yeah, insight memory care.
insight memory care, helping helping families, not just the patients, but families get through the challenges of dementia. You can't. It's such an important issue, and it's they are always looking for volunteers, and we do all we can to help them out.
Oh my goodness. So what's the thing that gets you out of the bed in the morning? Is it, I gotta be there at RSVP?
Well, I work with two wonderful people, and that was great. I like to know that the folks that we are volunteering are doing two things. They're going out and making a difference in the community, which is number one. They're really making a big impact. And second, they're making their own lives better. Part of my job, like you a little bit, I interview a lot of our volunteers for podcasts and things, and they all tell me, we actually get more out of this than the people we're helping. They're healthier. They've done studies where people that have been with RSVP a year or more usually suffer from less depression if they had that to begin with. In the last year of just being an RSVP, I've shed 80 pounds, and true story. And when you're around people that are healthy and active, and it takes you outside of yourself, I think that's the thing that really makes a difference.
Oh my goodness.
Don't if you're struggling with anything as an older folk or a senior, don't sit on your couch. Come out and make a difference. Help other people, and the dividends for your own body and mind will just be unbelievable.
Oh my word.
And that's what it's a great socially, folks meet other folks of like minds, and that's one of the most surprising things that I've noticed is just the social satisfaction people get out of volunteering. It's amazing.
Oh my word. Well, what we're going to do, you brought also a video that we're going to see. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to see.
Well, we put together a 60-second video, just sort of give people a taste of why our volunteers, what we say, why they RSVP. And it's three of our top volunteers. One of them was a past Volunteer of the Year for RSVP for Fairfax. And he talks a little bit about Janet Garber, who I mentioned, who is the former chair of the Olympics, and she talks, and it's a great. Another one, Lou, who lives out in Haymarket but still volunteers in Fairfax. He's one of the folks that volunteers at Wolf Trap. I think he's on his 3rd or 4th year now, and they're all just great, wonderful,
inspiring people.
They are. They are.
All right. Well, Rob, thank you so much for being
on
the show. You're wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And stay right there because we're going to see the fantastic video that Rob brought for us.
There are so many people that need your help. I can't begin to tell you how rewarding it is for an individual because you get more back than what you give out.
A lot of the volunteer work I have done has been working with seniors by choice, and it is so rewarding to help people that are really my peers. I'm helping them in areas that perhaps they don't have the skills that I do. They have different skills, but the appreciation from their side and the gratification from my side that I'm able to help somebody else is just amazing.
I'm a volunteer engagement leader with RSVP.
A lot of folks who are retired, wondering, what am I going to do with myself? Or, gee, I have, some skills and they're not being used. The RSVP is a good place to see where you can match those skills up.
There are so many people that need your help. I can't begin to tell you how rewarding it is.
I do the volunteer work because of how good it makes me feel.
I would like to thank Lillian Antoinette Cotton and Rob Paine for being exceptional guests. Our quote this time is from Irma Bombeck. Volunteers are the only human beings on the face of the earth who reflect this nation's compassion, unselfish caring, patience, and just plain love for one another. Thank you for watching Ingrid's World, and don't forget to friend us on Facebook and follow Ingrid's World VA on Twitter and Instagram. And if you missed the show, I hear you saying it, hey, watch Ingrid's World on YouTube. So stay in touch and follow your passion.